Hello and welcome. My name is Kevin. This is Do It for Bruce. We're here in another time lapse for time lapse week. This time we have East versus West. Thanks to GZX Game Dev for the suggestion. Immortal emperors who are running the west side of the map and the east side of the map. We've given them both different faiths and different cultures so that we can see how these boys match up against each other. Interestingly enough, I've wanted to see what would happen if I or 4-star education traits to see if they actually go down different education trees or if they just stay with the main one that they choose at the beginning. So that's an interesting experiment that is occurring. We've also given the Eastern Emperor a better capital start just because he has slightly less territory than his brethren, his Western nemesis. So he has more development in his capital compared to our Western Emperor. Between the two of them, my guess is the West will be more dominant just because they don't have the external threat of the Mongols to deal with over the time. And that's one of my predictions. The other prediction, by the end of this, only one of the two will still be alive. So let's see what happens between East versus West. I will see you in the post. Okay, it's been 369 years in the future, and we have an interesting map. Both empires are still somehow kicking. They are not as big as they started out. They've gone through a lot of progressions, some evolution here and there. We were surprised by Guinea being a dominant power in the world. It seems like they somehow are able to oust our other Western Emperor, but let's see if he still lives. It looks like he is still kicking. Somehow he's been ousted by the Guinea. Is it even a family member? It's not even a family member, just some random Guinea member. The one thing that I just noticed is also he is Nubian, which I'm very confused on how he became Nubian, because there's nobody other than the Norse, Persians, some Mongols. I am just confused on how he became a Nubian in this day and age, especially with just the two major cultures being a thing. As for faith, it looks like Asatru is probably in first place, and then Zunism in a second place. So they're still kicking. Let's see if the Eastern Empire is still existent. It's still in existence. So actually, on second thought, I don't think this time lapse is just done just yet. We're going to run it just a little bit longer and see if we can see who becomes the more dominant. This feels like an inconclusive find. So one more try through, and let's see who is more dominant in a couple years. All right, here we are, a little less than 100 years in the future, and now we have a more dominant East versus West empire. It looks like the Western Emperor is more dominant once again, and somehow has switched from being a Nubian to a Persian. I don't understand how he's doing this, but he is one wily, cultured guy. They've gone forth and gobbled back up all the Guinea territory that seemed to have been controlled by this woman. It seems like Asatru is still the dominant faith in this world. It looks like they got even more counties as control of things went on. Culturally wise, it's Persian or your Norse. There's some other holdouts here or there. I'm just still so perplexed by him switching his culture not once but twice. Let's see if they decided to go down every one of the branches with the 5 different educations. We'll check this guy first. Selected Majesty as his focus, but he has only gone down the middle tree of Overseer in the martial lifestyle. Let's see if the Eastern Emperor has done something similar or different. Looks like he is all learned all the way through, and yeah. So my idea of them trying to be able to go down multiple paths seems to have failed. It doesn't seem like they won't have any interest in doing it, which is fine. Let's look at the Empire tab. It looks like Western has done a decent job of taking over the world, and East has 2 versions of itself. It has the Eastern Empire is this, and then it has this East Empire as well. So that's interesting. We'll look at the development of the map. Yeah. So with this much time passing, yeah, the world becomes pretty developed, especially with so much of the land being controlled by either of these 2 individuals. Like I predicted, the West was going to be more dominant, and it looked like the East got shattered pretty quickly, or not shattered, but yeah, it was a shattering. They got dominated by the Mongols, so it shattered them, but then they were able to seemingly get back on the horse a little bit and take over more of these land, or take back some of their lands. But in the end, it seems like Western Emperor is the emperor of this challenge. It's also interesting to see not that much culture shift. It almost seemed like just slightly shifting here and there, nothing too crazy. But I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and as always, have a good rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow with another time lapse. Have a good one.